I'm Don Vito. How y'all feeling? I want to say happy Wednesday, but before we start the show, we had a member of the Beat 139 family, goes by the name of Riley. Very good brother, passed away the other day. And me and Doc want to pay respect and pay homage to the brother Riley. You know, it hurt me to find out, get that call. You know, Doc got the call and called me like, yo, Riley's dead. He died. I'm like, what? What you talking about, man? How was that call, man?
It was crazy because we just winning.
Just winning. It's not like
it's not like he was in the hospital. No, that's the crazy part.
We went out, we ate, we were talking about how we gonna take things to the next level.
Yeah. Because he's a brand ambassador. Some of you probably know him. He did a couple interviews, post interviews, but mostly he was basically make sure everybody was seated right. Because we had like a very big staff. He made amazing wings. And he hit it, like we all had roles here. And everybody's roles was important. His role was he make sure everybody was safe, everybody was seated, make sure everybody ate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely was one. He came in later on, you know, but he was a key part of the Beat 139 once he joined forces with us. And like Doc said, you know, always he's provided, man. He always came through with the food. You know, Doc said, everybody came in, made sure they was comfortable and stuff like that. And he did a couple post interviews, and he did his role very well as a brand ambassador. He loved the Beat 139.
Yeah,
he loved the Beat 139.
He loved the beat.
You know, it's like to hear that he passed away. I still ain't believe it. I still like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like we just want to be honest with you. We could talk about this all day. But we just want to pay homage to Riley and his family. God bless him. You're in heaven now, my brother. You're one of our angels, man. We need you to watch over us, man. Make sure we good. Your spirit is alive, man. And we miss you, man. We love you, Riley, for real, man.
Yeah, we definitely miss you and your family. Shout out to Kim and everybody.
Yeah, shout out to Kim.
It's sad, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know she's going through it right now. You know, shout out to you, Kim. Stay strong. And, you know, God can, you know, make things better, you know, one day at a time, you know?
Yeah, one day at a time. You know, the Beat 139, this show is dedicated to you, so.
Yeah, this is dedicated to Riley tonight, this show right here, man. But without further ado,
welcome to the Beat 139, I'm Doc.
I'm Don Vito, and we got our guest tonight, all the way from New Jersey. His name is Cory Goodall. Cory, welcome to the show, bro. There's a lot of good things about you, man.
Thank you for having me.
Kind of tall, man. You play ball or something?
Once upon a time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of people don't know that I played on that LIU team. Charles Jones, Richard Parker.
And, you played with them?
Yeah, we had a good run. Went to the NCAA, NIT. So, you know, shout out to my brothers on that.
Okay. All right. So, how was life growing up, man, playing ball?
Well, it was kind of interesting because, you know, growing up in Jersey, you know, ball was different, you know, you come to the city. So what they basically would do with me is they would like, instead of sending me down south, they send me here to New York. And I would be over there on 145th and Legs, playing with Cam, Ron, Shamgar, all those dudes over there. And so those are my summers. And so I stayed over in, Esplanade. And then after that, I actually kind of lived there for almost like 10 years. And then finally, I get an apartment. So, you know how those go. I had one of them, I had two bedrooms, so you know how that go. But yeah, so that's what it was like, you know what I mean, as far as my upbringing goes, you know. So I got a taste of both worlds.
Yeah, it's good for that. 'Cause a lot of parents now, I notice their kids be in Jersey, they bring New York to play ball because New York bring another side out of it.
Another element, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, all the time.
But Jersey has some ballers, man.
Yeah, they got ballers.
yeah, Jersey has some ballers, man, you know?
The grit is different over here.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely different.
You come here, you earned it. You can do it here.
Yeah.
You know.
But New York, the grit is different from anywhere else in basketball.
Absolutely.
Everybody want to play in New York, man. You know, don't care what's the record of the team. Like the Knicks, they want to play in that garden. Just the fact of playing in that garden, hitting 50 is a big thing.
That's big. Yeah, 50 in the garden.
You see, one thing we do in New York, New York don't do no hate. Cause when Mike came in,
Yeah,
they clapping for Mike. When
that's
Kobe
true,
came and hit that 60 or 80 or whatever he hit,
Cause
they
we-
clapping for Kobe.
Yeah,
Kobe,
niggas-
niggas
we
respect the
like
game.
Ballers, man. We don't care where you
That's
from.
true.
That's very true.
We like basketball, man.
That's true. They don't hate.
Anywhere else they boo.
Because
New York,
yeah, a lot of times, a lot of visitors, even LeBron.
yeah,
LeBron, I think he had like 48 or something in New York.
yeah. Like, and they said they was clapping.
Yeah, because Kobe got like the highest far as the visitors.
You're gonna meet everybody's best friend.
Yeah, and then you gonna take it to the street with the rucker and all that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Everybody when they come in town, even the NBA players, they want to come to the rucker. AI, Marbury, Kobe, everybody, man, they come play that summer league. They just want to get that feeling of that rucker, man. You know, and they can really go into their bag. Cause NBA, you can do your thing, but you gotta hold back on some stuff. When you come here, you can really show
They
that
got all
all
back
back.
in the NBA.
NBA,
They don't want all the tricks.
yeah, in here you can carry, you can do all kinds of stuff, throw it around a nigga back, you know.
Yeah, yeah, for
Throw-
sure.
yeah.
I played in that too. Won it 1 year.
Yeah.
West Forth. I played in everything.
Yeah, West Forth. Forgot about West Forth, man.
Yeah,
Now-
I just was down there.
But now Dykeman is the big tournament now. You know, Rucker kind of lost.
Yeah,
its
yeah.
move.
Rucker
Yeah.
coming back though.
It's coming back, but Dykeman is like.
That
Yeah.
gotta go around and heard, but
it's a zoo out there.
they heard like 6 NBA players put some money together. It ain't really out there, but I caught it on the news or something like that. And they invested money, like like $400,000 or $500,000, and they gonna close the park and do it all over, make it look like some crazy.
Yeah, Rucker.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they gonna do a thing over the top. So like if it rains, it closes and opens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's what it did.
Yeah, they put some bread up for real.
Now, if that happens,
They trying to refurbish the park. They trying to keep the legacy of the park. They don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
Shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Cause see, back in the days we had the hustlers. You know what I'm saying? The hustlers took care of everything.
Yeah.
But we don't have hustlers no
We
more.
got the hustlers no more.
You know what I'm saying? So the NBA players who got the love and know the tradition of the rucker, they come and put that bread up, man. So that's made. I was like happy when I heard that. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, man. We need that, man. So let's get into you, man. So you play ball and all that type of stuff. So I heard you was a firefighter, man.
yeah. 10 years now, firefighter in Teaneck. You know, it was a nice transition because being a firefighter is the ultimate team sport. So coming from basketball and being a firefighter it was just a nice transition. So, you know, everybody has to do their job, things like that. So I'm not gonna lie, I was scared of fire.
I was gonna get into that. I was gonna finish talking. Doc, I'll never finish talking for a minute. I was gonna get into that. But I know I see it for a little fire, I'm like, hey, fire. But you go in buildings with flames, man. Tell us how that experience is, man.
You know,
I be like, I ain't going up there, man.
you know, well, my career went a little differently. So so when I started, I was able to build up to that big fire. I caught a car fire, a brush fire, a garbage fire,
Right.
and then finally, 5 o'clock in the morning, you get that call. It's a real house fire, and so then everything you know with the training. A lot of people don't understand when you go through the training, it makes it calculated.
Okay.
So if you my officer and you've been on the job for a long time, you're gonna guide me through this. And so, all I do is follow your lead, and then we should be okay. But like anything, things can go wrong. But for the most part, if you follow what you learn, it always comes into play.
So basically, it's about the training.
Yeah, training is key.
So going up in them buildings is frightening.
I mean, well, Jersey doesn't have as many buildings as New York, but house fires is even more like, because buildings are sprinkled. If you look around here, they're sprinkled. Whereas a house fire, all you have is smoke detectors and things like that. And a lot of people don't change the smoke detectors. So I think in Teaneck, actually where I work, just 2 weeks ago, they lost a couple, and it was due to them not having any smoke detectors.
A couple, a family or a couple houses?
A family, a couple.
Wow.
But they were sleeping, and the smoke detector didn't go off.
They would sleep, but they were still able to call 911. I think they just panicked in that situation. But that was something, if they had smoke detectors, it would have been like, okay, let's go out the front door.
Right.
Instead of trying to get out the window.
Right.
Oh, so yeah, I want to know about that. So what do people should do? Like in a situation like that? You said they would sleep.
Well, in that situation, I don't know all of the story, so I'm going to give you what I know. But they actually called 911 and saying, we have a fire. So they actually pushed the dresser in front of the door.
Mm.
So I don't know why they did that. Like,
They locked themselves
they
in.
locked themselves in, and then there was a window and a roof where they could have jumped out the window onto the roof and came down.
Mhm.
But maybe they were overtaken by the smoke. I don't know, because I didn't work that fire.
Right.
But that's
Sound like they panicked to me.
yeah,
So the best way they should just went out.
out the window. Because at that point it was already
Engulfed.
Yeah.
I'm listening. Ain't nobody gotta tell me that, man. The fire over here, I'm going over here, man. I'm gonna take my chances over here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, houses are big, but I think you can hang from the ledge and jump down.
It's only 2 floors. Like that's
out
of there.
Opposed to a project when you're on the 16th floor.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
You said it. I'd rather take a broken
I
leg.
take a broken leg.
Yeah, then dead. Or smoke inhalation, because you could die from that.
Yeah, that's what's gonna take you first before anything.
They said that.
It ain't the
They said
fire.
that. They all said
Smoke
that.
inhalation.
Because when I was younger, I always thought that wow, look.
Yeah, I was actually on.
No, that's crazy. You talking about that?
Yeah.
Wow, but that's crazy because I always thought you burning and stuff. They always said this and nah, that's not it.
Smoke takes you, and then that's it.
They suffocate your lungs,
They said
right?
it's quick.
Quick.
There's a smoke take you real
Because
fast.
when we go in, we have our bottles. Our bottles are good for like 30 minutes or 45 minutes, but you can probably do 30 minutes of work, and it all depends what kind of shape you're in. So you can go through a bottle just like that. So it's important to stay in shape, things like that.
So after 30 minutes, they advise y'all to try to get up out of there.
Well, like I said, it all depends on how shape you are. My bottle may give you 30, your bottle might give you 20, your bottle might give you 15, depending on how hard you're working. But you gotta remember, when you put the gear on, that's 100 pounds right there.
Yeah,
So
that
if I'm 200 pounds, I'm already 300 pounds. So if something happens to me and you gotta drag me out, you try to move 300 pounds.
So let me ask you a question. So what made you want to be a firefighter?
That's a good question. I mean, it was one of those things where I took the test and they actually called me. You know, so it was kind of like I was in the transition from finishing up playing ball, because I played overseas a little bit, and I played here, you know, like semi-pro leagues here, things like that. So I was tired. I felt like that would be a good transition. I knew a few firefighters, and they were telling me about the job. So I thought that'd be a good transition. Plus the schedule is, you know, beautiful. You know, we work 1 day on, 3 off.
Wow. Same pay?
So you're working one
We
day.
work 24 hours,
And then 3 days off.
3 days off.
Same pay.
Same.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I want to be a firefighter. You know what I'm saying? Is it the age limit? I think I was
Yeah,
Let's
nigga.
go, baby.
Please live in New York as well.
Now, but let me ask you a question, though. And this is a very good one, too. So, we know the history of firefighters. They wasn't allowed a lot of blacks and
I was about to
Hispanics
say that.
to be firefighters. It was a racial tension going on with letting us in. I know we in now heavy, but you talking about 15 years ago. How was your experience with getting in?
Well, out in Jersey, it's a little different.
Okay.
It's not, so what you're thinking of is what they call like a chief's test. So if you're the chief and you see him on the list, you can pick them off the list. Whereas my town, you have to take the test and it goes by your score. So whoever scores the highest is the first one.
They don't know who you are.
They don't
know about sport.
know a face, they don't know nothing. But you know, time they feel doing a background check,
Right.
they know who you are.
Right.
It's like this thick. You know.
See, New York plays a different game.
They got a big lawsuit behind that.
Yes, that's why they got that in
I
there.
know
New York
somebody
play
got like
different game.
400,000.
They play the game, and everybody know I'm not on that type of time. But they played the white boy game in New York back in the days. The Irish was running that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then slowly but surely they
And
filtered
all the state,
Yeah,
most of the
black
state.
or Spanish in there, here and there to keep people quiet. But now it's like very balanced now. You know, it's like a lot of racial tension back in
Yes, so
New York.
Yeah. So what you were talking about is kind of interesting because it's like those guys that they passed over, New York came back and they had to offer those guys. They had to offer them the job.
Yeah,
They had to
and-
offer the pay and years on the job.
Yeah.
So it was 5 years I should have been on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Free
my-
money.
That's
yeah.
how I told you about a friend of mine that happened to him.
Yeah.
He had the time he run the test,
Yeah.
back pay and all.
Wow, that's all right. That's
I
all right.
don't see him no more.
Yeah, one of my mans got 600 and change.
So did you ever have any complications while inside fighting the fire?
There was one fire I went into, and we kept going into one of the rooms. We were trying to go into the basement, and we knew the fire was down in the basement. And those are kind of like the most dangerous fires you can go into a house with, because you could walk in and the floor could be burnt out already.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw the fire from downstairs when we first pulled up. So we went inside, and then we were trying to find the stairs to go down, and it was pitch black. And so we're feeling our way, and it was almost like we were just going in a circle. And so you could feel the fire getting hotter. And so at that point, we had to like back out. And we just broke the window from downstairs and we just couldn't find that. Because we couldn't find that door. But when the lights went on and you look, it's just that door right
Wow.
there. So it's crazy. And then one other time, it was my first fire being a pump, so I had to pump the fire, give the guys the water, and the water wasn't coming. And you could see the fire going, and they calling for the water. And I'm like, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, and it's just not happening.
Wow.
So I had to go back in the truck, start all over again, go through everything that they taught me, and they come to find out it was the 111. He told me we're going to take the 200-foot hose, and he actually took the 150. So, we talked about this, but that's how once you get tunnel vision.
Right.
If you tell me 200, I'm looking for 200, not looking to see he took the 150. So, but that's a rookie, so you got to still go to the back and not be tunnel vision and say, okay, 200. And so that's what happened. But it went well. Everybody was out, put out the fire.
Okay.
So I hear this all the time. I don't know how much truth this is. They said a lot of police is jealous of the firefighters because they get way more money than them.
Firefighters get way more money than
That's
police
what
officers.
they say.
Nah. Police officers get way more money than fire. So
Yeah, they say firefighters get way more than police.
nah. So you see when you see like PSCNG doing work, things like that. Who you see out there?
Policeman.
Policemen. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
can
They
can sit in their car, drink coffee.
yeah. Overtime.
So even just on
Base.
the base. Just even on the base. Yeah.
You
Trust
see,
me.
firefighters, y'all don't get overtime like that, right?
We don't get around.
Police get that overtime.
Yeah.
Like COs and Rikers Island, they get that
Oh, the
overtime.
COs kill them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
So
it make a little sense.
that's
So also I heard, we're gonna get into it. You collect cars or something like that, huh?
Yes, yeah, I'm starting there. I'm doing baby steps. So yeah, like right now, I guess that paid in full era is what people are getting. People are taking those cars,
Classic Jones and fixing.
them up. So I have a couple cars. I got a Porsche, but it's a newer car. Maybe I think it's like a 07, and then I have a M3, and that's a 08, and then I have a 87 325 that I've been trying to rehab and trying to get it together.
Right.
So it's coming along, and it's a process,
Right.
and so
Gotta put a lot of money
it's a
into it.
lot of money. So I almost tell people.
But not the old 08 and stuff.
No, those
Yeah.
cars are what they are. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they got the rims. They nice and everything and all that stuff.
Yeah, the 87.
But the 87 I caught, it was like really almost like a garage fire. The roof was missing. It was crazy. I had to do the interior over. So I mean, it's coming out beautifully, but it's still in my pockets.
What made you get interested in wanting to do that?
Well, I come from, like out of Jersey, my uncles were always in cars. They must have taught me like 12 years old driving cars, because I've kind of been this height since 13. So, one of those things where they always like, cars, motorcycles, dirt bikes, like what you see now, people running through New York riding dirt bike. We was doing that over here, a long time ago. So, I was always the younger one. And like my uncle was like 8 years older than me, so everybody thought he was like my brother.
Right.
He was my uncle, and so by that time he was had the he had the M3s, he had the R7. You know what I mean? So he grew up looking at that. All his friends had cars, you know, and so I just got into it.
Yeah.
And I've always been into it, you know.
Wow, that's crazy. So what you saying about the '87?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you said you dumped money into it, do you like somehow regret it? Like, damn, I don't know why I'm messing with this.
I mean, a little bit, meaning like, I wish I maybe got one that was a little bit more complete, you know, so maybe I might just dig the roof over and maybe just do some body work and then bring it out, you know what I mean? But it's a, you know, like I said, it's a process, and I kind of like going through it right now, because, and then, you know, IG, things like that, people be asking, so how's it coming along? And then you also start to learn that it's a whole like culture out there
Culture.
for these cars, and people doing it. Not outside of New York, like M3s and like 325s, it's a whole culture, and that's all people love. People start modifying them and making them crazy. You know what I mean? So it's just changing engines. You know, so it's big. You know, so
Mint condition.
So your goal is just to keep it in, or to do it and then resell it.
Well, at first I was saying, you know what, whatever I do to it, I'm gonna get my money back. So if somebody comes with the right price, I'll let it go. But I know what I put into it, and I know when I'm at a car show and I sit down in front of it and people come up, it's like, you know, that's like a gratifying feeling to know.
You put that work in there.
And then you go walking through the whole car versus buying a car from me, and then you don't know everything. I can always tell you, but you don't know, like, sitting back at home, coming up with a spreadsheet for a car. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be crazy after a while, you know? So, you know, definitely it's like a great feeling.
So the main twist to a car show is like antique cars, pretty much. Not antique like super old, but cars like 87s.
They like
and
the
then 60s.
60s cars they be liking too.
Yeah,
Right.
you know what?
69.
Like I said, it's a culture for
Everything.
Everything. So
60s.
So you can go to muscle cars. You can go to exotics. That's all they want is Ferraris and Lambos. And if you start trying to push your little, let's say you got an M3, and they're like, nah, we don't want that. We want Lambos, Ferraris, Porsches, and everything down the line.
Yeah.
But now with the pay in full era, you know, shout out to the PBS boys, because you know they kind of made that culture come back a little bit, and it's so crazy. I watched them just start it, and then they just kept building, and you know, so they should be out there on that Saturday as well.
Oh, so let's talk about the event you got going on Saturday. Tell the viewers.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Cars and Cigars is happening August 28th, Saturday, 12 to 5. It's going to be a great time. So basically, this is the second one. So the first one was actually nice, and that was my first one. So to have 90 cars, you know, like the parking lot hold 90 cars, we probably had like 100. We had people on the side. So the first one was crazy. It was, you know, and then so it was so good that they asked me to do a second. If I was just going to do one and just kind of fall back because it was a lot of work, things like that. So they asked me, and most of all the people asked me. Because I guess through COVID, like back in May and June, people wasn't really outside as they were saying.
Right.
So it was a nice event, you know, and you know, not that you're from Jersey, but you are, you know, like the culture, you know about it because you're out there.
Yeah.
You know, you got Inglewood, Teaneck, Hackensack. So those three towns, you know, when you do something in that size, like, it's like, oh, okay, you know, you got 100 cars in the parking lot and another 100 people walking around, you know, that's a nice event.
Yeah, people
So
gonna pull up out there too.
Yeah.
So what makes you do that in the first event?
So I had been trying to do something like that for a while, and so the cigar lounge, shout out to Smoking Acids, I was going there every week, you know, and that's one of the only black cigar lounges in Jersey. So when I was going there every week, I liked the vibe here, and you know, I was talking with the owners and things like that, and that was really one of the only places you could go to during COVID, because they had the tent and they had the parking lot. So on Friday nights, it was like you tailgate.
The
one that we went.
to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Friday nights, you were able to tailgate there. So I said, you know what? this is a nice vibe. Let's see if we could create this with cars. And so that was my mission on that.
Well, that's kind of creative.
So do they charge you for the space?
So yeah, it's no, actually they don't charge me for the space. We just charge the cars to come in. So it's kind of nice because I don't have the overhead of DJ, permits, everything, porta potty, like little things start to add up, and so they kind of handle everything as far as that goes, and I just gotta bring the people.
So what kind of gratification do you think that people get, such as yourself, from bringing your car? I mean, you don't get no money for it, you don't win no award, I mean, what? Props, it's just nice kid car, that's it?
Well, you know what? Now the way the culture is, the way IG is, somebody sees the car, I want to use that
In the video.
Right.
So,
I want to buy it.
Yeah, or buy it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of avenues that can come from having that car.
So advertising is big.
Yeah, advertising.
That's what's up.
That's cool.
So what is it again, if you tell everybody,
Oh, yeah.
the town and everything?
Yeah, it's going to be in Teaneck, Smoking Ashes, August 28th. It's going to be from 12 to 5. It's $10 per car. We're going to have food trucks out there, vendors. We have a tent. It's going to be games, giveaways, and it's just a nice vibe. If you just want to have a place.
Okay, you saying $10 a car. So you don't have the cars already that's booked,
Last
or
car
people just pull up?
last car show, I actually confirmed a lot of people. So a lot of people are like coming back. So I know I'm gonna have a certain number, but like anything, after I do a show, it could be 20, 30 more cars that I wasn't thinking I was gonna.
Right.
I think you could charge more than that.
You could, but
Just to pull up and showcase their car, just to.
But you probably make money when you keep the price low and you have more cars.
Well, like I was saying, is a code. If you actually just look up all this stuff is car shows every weekend, and people just come and showcase their cars. So you gotta keep it. You gotta keep it in a place where people want to come.
Right.
Or unless you have a charity, and then you can say, you know what, this is what's happening. So next year I think I'm gonna do like a book bag drive, because that's right around this time where kids are going back to school. So I'm gonna try to make the event go with something,
Charity.
yeah.
But I would think that event would be kind of cool if it was like a contest. Like,
Yeah.
you got all these cars,
Yeah, who the best-
like you get some type of award, who got the, and people vote. Who got the, who cars is got the flyest joint.
Yeah.
Cause I know if I'm coming in, I'm gonna show my car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanna see where I rank with all these cars some type of way.
Yeah, because you want the gratification.
Yeah, I want that gratification. So, this one came in first, this one, three spots.
And do you get to the last, they do like elimination,
Well,
tournament?
It's something like, something like,
I was thinking next year,
Yeah.
that definitely, give a prize
Yeah.
to like the best.
nice plaque, and they can take it home.
Yeah, but like I said, this is something that I've been building. So,
Yeah.
when I first started for the first car show, I was thinking I'd get 30 cars.
Mhm.
That was my goal.
Yeah.
And it'd be in 90s.
Big.
So
A
now,
lot of people in the cars.
yeah, a lot of people in the cars, but people get funny sometimes. I got a lot of people, I see what you're doing, but they don't want to bring their car.
Oh, so basically they bring their car, the doors, people could go in and check in and out the cars, right? Like the spectators.
It all depends how somebody leaves their car open. They might just leave the windows down. If you got a convertible, they might leave the top down. Things like that. So here's the other thing I want to add to this. Like our culture is sometimes not big in this. Like you get a lot of white people. Yeah.
True that.
Yeah, into
A
that.
lot of white and a lot of Spanish. Spanish into it too.
And a lot of Spanish people are into that. Us, it's like it's almost like a sprinkle of us.
Yeah,
When you go to these
yeah,
car shows.
yeah.
So this was actually interesting because this was like a black and brown show.
Yeah, it's like groundbreaking, I think so.
You know, so it's one of those things where it's not many car shows you go to where you're going to see black and brown people.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Maybe Envy's car show. You know, I went down to that down in what was that? AC,
Mhm.
and you know, there was a lot of people down there, but it wasn't almost a vibe.
They just had one, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they just had one.
But the vibe was a little different. It was almost like I'm here. I got 50's car. I got this person's car. But you couldn't really sit around. So this is pretty nice.
You can't sit around.
I mean, you could stand around, but this event is BYOB. So you bring your chair, you put your bottles out, you smoke your cigars, you could chill in front of your car,
Right.
you could have a good time, DJ,
Right.
everything. You don't have to look at somebody's car and keep moving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Once you kind of look at everybody's car, you can enjoy yourself. Food trucks, everything.
So they gotta pay your fee.
Yes, a vendor fee. The vendor fee goes towards
Right.
anybody.
What's the fee?
It's different. Food trucks, I believe, is $100, and I believe the vendors, like if you have a small vendor, I think it's like $50.
Yeah. That sound right, man. But you're right though when you say that there's very few black and brown car shows like that. Cause where I live at, they have car show too, but they have it in this big ass parking lot. But these are Spanish boys, you know what I'm saying? But they do it different.
Yeah.
They don't do the classic joint. They do the joints that you see in Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah.
The joints be lit up on the bottom, souped up. They got the purple.
I see it. They be right on the side of the road.
They do the lime green. You know the wheels when they got on the joint, it's tilted. They do all that. They be out there. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah. It be a lot of them though, man. And
I
they-
see
Yeah,
over
they
your
all
joint
come
right
up the road
there.
back to back, like showing the people in the town how they pushing and all that. So you right.
Yeah, so that's the thing, like I was saying, black and brown people are not really into it. Like, once they saw the first one, like I had a few people who got nice cars that was standing outside and was like, nah, I'm not putting my car in. But then once they saw the vibe, can I put my car in? I'm like, all right, come on, like put it in, But that's the thing, you always gotta catch
So
the
you
wave.
think they don't want to go in because they don't want nobody all in their car?
Nah, people just don't understand. Like, everybody's different.
Because all basically somebody doing is looking at the car.
I understand.
Yeah, but if you into something and then they realize people that's not into something, then they be like, yeah, you disrespecting the
So
game.
once they
man.
enter, they have to stay in till 5 o'clock.
No, you're able to take your car out. You're not bounded to stay until 5 o'clock.
I think it's more of an ego thing too, man. About what you're talking about, or personal one. If I bring my car, you can check my car, man.
Not that
I
you
might
can't-
not want you to sit inside.
but not even
you can
that.
Go and you can check it out.
In
man.
PA where I live, is nothing but car shows every single weekend. But like you said, it's literally hardly no black people involved, and it's white people. So people
really
respect
was-
they respect
really the ones
it.
who originated, started that
They
stuff.
respect the culture.
So with this car show,
That classic stuff.
yeah, this car show was kind of different because I had to bring us in. I had to hook us in. DJ. I had to call up.
Put some style to the joint.
Yeah.
You know how black
I had to put some.
that's why they don't like to let us in the door. They don't like to let us in the door, so you gonna take it to another level. You see what I'm saying? You gonna do something else, and then they be like, this dude, he done came with some other stuff now. You
said.
blowing up. It's like when we got into hockey. We got one dude in, now we got about 10 dudes, and they dominate. Now we don't play no hockey.
He
But once you
answered
let
the
us in, that's
question.
it.
So
So you in there, you the guy.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You got to hook, line, and sink us. You got to tell them, it's like Grant's Tomb back in the day. Still on 125th
Yeah.
Street. And that's kind of a car show.
Yeah, it was.
They just ain't have
That
a
was-
label to it. You know what I mean? That was the car show. Wednesday night, you sat up there, you went and got your Heineken or whatever you drink, and you sat up there all
I
night.
give you one better than that. 125th Street back in the day by the Apollo.
That's what I'm saying. When you come,
We were taking the flicks and all that by the joint. We used to park cars. Everybody's looking to get a spot on that block. And you know what I'm saying? Get out and start front. You know what I'm saying?
That's the Grant's Tomb. You come
Yeah,
down
right,
125th Street,
125th, yeah.
and you were out there all night.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, so it's the same thing, but we need you got to hook, line, and sinker them and tell them this is the vibe.
I got you.
Yeah, 145th, 155th rooftop.
So down the line, would you be, if this is another successful event, will you be trying to get some sponsorship?
Definitely. I'm in the works of trying to do like a YouTube show where I kind of sit with you. Let's say you got a ill car, and so I would bring like a portable car service, and we'll talk about your car. You
Right.
tell me about your car. You said, I might ask you a question like, what was the first song you wanted to play when you knew you were getting this car?
Yeah.
And why did you get this car? And so everybody has their own, feelings on their car
Yeah.
and things like that. So, so that's the goal, to try to do something like that. And,
So if people want to get at you, can you tell them your social media links?
oh yeah, you can catch me at, on IG is drop_100. So, and that's really the best way to reach me because that's kind of only the only platform I'm on right now. But, like I said, it kind of like went really big for me as far as, like the first car show. So now I'm kind of like, I get everything in order and start to build like a website and all those different things.
Take it to the next level.
So,
On the business side.
yeah, I gotta-
So can you tell everybody what podcast show you on right now, bro?
Oh, I'm on the beat, 139.
All right, there we go. Cory Goodall. Stay tuned for the post interview with Keith Cash.